Hey,
Well,
everybody.
hey, how are you?
It is
Right.
Hey, everybody.
it
Hey,
is Sunday. It is our new special edition stuff that we seem to be doing on this channel, at least. But this is all going to be the Moondog Show, and we're going to be talking about Bad Blood 2022, an event I'm really excited for. So, with that being said, I'm Joker from Players Wanted. With me is the man above, the man that gets all the cool stuff to show off, Moondog from Moondog Industries. Over
How's it going,
there
everybody?
is Ian, and then over here is Head Kill Nick, Tribal CO, and we now have also
Hey,
Carbon has come in.
Carbon.
What's going on, guys?
Um, so I'm going to take a back seat here and do the producer role again and just show some stuff off and participate when I can. But I'm going to turn all the reins over there to Moondog. So take it away, Moondog.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about some new news and also getting into some details of the player packet and the rules that we haven't covered previously. If you haven't seen definitely check out our past live streams because we cover a lot of the sort of the basics of what the game is about. So if you want a sort of overview of your objectives and what makes this game different, I won't rehash and retread a lot of that because I think the opportunity tonight is to get into some other details that are also very important. So definitely rewatch that live stream and be sure to stay tuned till the end of this live stream for details on that Balder Pro R Olight giveaway. So just wanted to start off with some news about how we're doing so far. Get on and pick up your tickets soon because for those of you who didn't know, General Greens is already completely sold out. Black shirts are almost sold out. We're getting very, very close. I would say the last time, in fact, the previous time when I was saying that General Greens was going to be selling out soon, then the very next morning, I find out it was already sold out. So that's definitely, if you want to get on black shirts, get on it really soon. Deus Ex is not very far behind, so we have our CO for Deus Ex here, actually, Carbon, and not too far behind are Marxists. So we've got, I would say, maybe
For the box.
For the box, we've got about 50 tickets or thereabouts. A little 50 to 60 tickets left on that, so get on that. And which brings up a good question. What do you do when your team is completely sold out? And I have to say this for those of you who've never come to Bad Blood. Once our tickets are sold out, we're sold out. We're not adding more tickets. It's just because we've already pre-booked the venue for a certain number of people, and we can't add more. And that's just the way it is. It's always been like that. So don't ask for, hey, I need some extra tickets. My friend wants to come. You should have bought your tickets. But I don't want to leave you totally out on the lurch. What usually happens is that there are folks who get booked at work and can't come, and it just regularly happens. Check the Facebook pages for that particular team, or in Bad Blood General Series Facebook page. And people are always selling tickets. Now, I have no control over this. Caveat emptor. I've already heard some folks are trying to scam other folks for tickets who actually don't have tickets. So just be careful out there. But the other way is that people who can't go, I tell them either try to sell them to folks who want to go or get a refund from Evic. Evic will refund it up to the day of the event. So if you can't go, just refund it to Evic, which is another good thing because about a week or two before the actual event, Evic will release, even though it says sold out, and there's no guarantee of this, they will re-release any tickets that they have refunded, and people have refunds and sold their tickets back to them. They will have those available tickets put up, but I don't know when they're going to do that. But it has happened in the past, and I can try to get some more details. I'll update you on another live stream. But those are the usual ways people have either gotten in for a team. Of course, the third way is join another team. Get all of your other. It's happened. So get your team to put on another different camo and join another team. So
If I can interject one thing, when it comes
Yeah.
down to if you guys are buying tickets and selling tickets, make sure it's done through. Try to use PayPal as the most secure way, and even though there's a fee involved, do not do it as friends and family, because friends and family, if it is a scam, you're not getting your money back. But if it's for goods and
Good
services,
point.
you'll get your money back. Yeah, we had to deal with that with Syndicate 2. A couple of guys got screwed over. I mean, we made it right by them, but yeah, there was just a big eye opener for anybody that's buying. And this goes for any event. If you're buying it, PayPal's the most secure, and then doing it as goods and services.
That's really good information. I didn't know that either. So thank you there, Joker. All right, so we've got tickets are quickly selling out, so get them now. Like I said, there's really no risk if you buy your ticket and you can't go, because you can, at least go to Evic and get get a refund and send those tickets back. Also, I just want to add for those of you who didn't know, we're going to have a little bit of a change in the end of day activities. Check the previous live stream, but the net of it is we're not going to have a big pause at the end of the day. We're just going to keep on playing up until just about 5 o'clock, and that's where we usually cut it around 4:35, depending on how hot it is. Sometimes a little bit earlier if it gets really hot. But then we'll have our raffle, which you definitely don't want to miss. And so the other big news, and it's staring us right in the face right now. Actually, it's right behind Ian. We've got new sample boxes. We're going to be swapping out our old ammo boxes for, if you would do the honors.
Dang it.
As you drops 5 of them.
Yeah.
So we have red coolers. Should be easier to find, and I big quotes on that, depending on how crafty the tribals are. And I think Headkill, how crafty do you want the tribals to be?
We'll figure it out day of.
Okay.
It'll be hidden in plain sight usually, but you might have to look around a bit to get them.
So one of the reasons we wanted to do this is because it's also more realistic, so to speak, because blood samples and organs are transported in those coolers.
Is now a time I can show that video? Because I've been waiting to show this video. It is kind of hilarious.
Go ahead.
When it goes with interacting with tribals. You can, of course, search for it. But if you got deep pockets, you just might want to try this.
You get a birthday blowy? Green ammo can.
Oh, your finger in here?
No, you got it right here.
Oh, that's my fucking liking. Yeah, no, I'll tell you where it is.
Where is it?
See those tires left? Yeah.
Ammo can.
Found it!
That's one way to get your sample. So it's not.
I think he paid
hard.
too high of a price.
Yeah. So for those of you who didn't quite get what was going on there, the Marxists were trading grenades for information as to where exactly the sample box. They knew they were close, but that's pretty high grass, so it can be hard to find.
Overpaid. One grenade would have been enough, not like 3 that he
How
gave
many-
him.
You gave him
It was
3?
3. They already
Wow.
had passed off 2, and then he brought out another one out of his pouch, and you can see the head shake just a little bit. I was like, tribals need love too.
So I wanted to just also welcome Liam. He joined us in mid talk. So, hey there, Liam.
Look, guys.
Moondog, are you able to see chat, or do you need me just to point out stuff when it comes up?
On my screen, I'm not seeing chat. So if you wouldn't mind putting.
There was like I don't know who Facebook user is. I don't know which groups it's a part of, but it's Moondog. Please tell me the spawns are better than last year. It was insane in spawn trapping.
Oh,
and we've already addressed that in previous live streams.
Yeah. So the embeds are definitely going to be aware of what happened last year, and so we'll be able to deal with that. They'll definitely be more mindful of that. So as soon as if there's where depending on where you are, you may discover it first. So definitely contact your embeds, and they will work things out to move the embeds or any players that are either spawn camping or when the triages are too close to each other. So we're mindful of that problem from last year, and we're going to address that this year.
We actually had that part of one of the first couple of live streams that we had for Bad Blood, where we really talked in depth about the shifting of those spawns, so you wouldn't have a problem.
And we're gonna nothing's perfect, but we adapt. Speaking of rules, though, when we're talking about that, we've got we've got some important rules
Thanks, Smurf.
that we wanted to get into. One of them, first thing, some new news that that Sonic, that Ian brought up. Well, let's talk about radios. And look in the rule book there, your quick reference sheet, the first one, it lists all the channels that you need to be on. And they're all our standard FRS/GMRS channels. But be mindful that you stay on your channel. Don't be stepping on other factions' channels. Part of this is the AO is huge, and we need the channels. Each of the factions need the channels just to stay organized. So we don't want to have folks, just kidding around and jamming other faction channels. And keep your chatter to a minimum. I say this in the rule book. Communicate with your team or your group that you came with verbally. Don't use the radio channels to talk about just regular maneuver tactics that you're doing with your guys. The radio should be utilized for your faction leaderships to communicate to you, and also to help your faction vector or move your sample collectors and to get news about where samples are found. So keep that chatter to a minimum. And Ian, could you talk about some of the new news about the Baofeng Beifeng?
Yeah, basically the
Baofeng.
super popular Baofeng and Baofeng Chinese, yeah, those guys. That seems like everybody has.
Including the Russian
good
army.
Radios. They bleed pretty hard. They pick up things they shouldn't pick up, but they work for the most part. They just require some tweaking here and there to program whatnot. Now the problem now is for people who are new to Bad Blood or new to this kind of game. Hold on a second. New to this kind of game where radios are required.
I'm getting hold on a second. We're getting a buzzy feedback.
That's from Headkill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Where the radio is required for emergencies and for basic direction, things like that. The newest iterations of the popular UV5R that Joker just held up and the UV82, my personal favorite, have been restricted to no longer work on the FRS, GMRS channels that we use for Bad Blood. So if you've got one of those radios already, great. If you're in the market for one, don't go the Chinese radio market. Stick with the tried and true Motorola talkabouts, the
Midlands,
the Midwood, the Midlands,
Cobras even.
The Midwood, that's where I live. The Midlands, if you can get a Kenwood that actually works on FRS, great. Those, if you got a Motorola, you know how to program it, like a good Motorola, the professional one's fine. But if you're just in the market you need a radio because it's a requirement of the game, you can get a Motorola T100 talkabout on Amazon right now, 2-pack, $30. There you go. Go in with a friend, get a $15 radio that is going to get you through the day, going to meet the requirements, and it's not going to bleed like the Baofengs do. You're only going to hear what you need to hear. So it's kind of a win-win if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's for those of you who do have the working Baofengs, the player packet does have the frequencies required for you to work on our standard channels. If you have one, I assume you know how to program it, so I'm not going to teach you that. But yeah, just make sure it works. Make sure it works before you show up, because I don't have time to troubleshoot 800 radios. I'm not doing it. So,
Not this year.
I'm not doing it. If it doesn't work, oh, sorry. I hope you can yell really loud, because let's be honest, Bad Blood is
Wait.
not a game of stealth. So, like
Marxist
Moondog
uses-
said, don't just use the radio for moving left 200 feet. Nobody cares. Just yell. Just do what you have to do. Just go there, because you're in a horde of 250 people. You're not sneaky. So,
Marxist uses radios. This is something new.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
When you're ready, this question came up before. Will platoon be split into different squads when we'll know what squad we are in? And then that was followed up with this comment. That will depend on which faction you're in and how your CO runs things. Best way to find out is join Facebook Discord channel for whatever faction you're with. That's the best way to explain it, guys. Find a faction, get inside of it, go from there.
Yeah, your CO will want to know who you are anyway, because they're trying their best to organize everybody beforehand, and that's the best answer, because every CO is going to be running their group a slightly different way. So, all right. Anybody else have anything to add about radios, or what? You know what? If there's anything, what's your pet peeve about how people use their radios?
He's over there. That's great. Where's over there? Who is this?
Timmy, are you out there? Timmy, where are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Or we'll get chatter on the radio about somebody needing to get a soda from the car, and
Yeah.
Really. So.
One of the funniest
or
things.
or we could just hear somebody's gearbox.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Turn off the damn Vox.
Turn off
on
Vox,
your-
yes.
That's a
Yes.
big one.
How can I forget? Yeah, figure out. Read the manual, read the instruction manual, find the thing that says Vox or whatever, the hands-free. Turn it off, because your gearbox, just firing your weapon is going to activate that, and all your team is going to hear is just your gearbox shooting.
Also, constant call button spam.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that either.
Or even better, when your squad decided that the frequency that you need to be on is the frequency that is also the admin frequency, and they won't get off the damn channel.
Yes, we publish all the channels that your faction is supposed to be on, and the reason I put it in the player packet is because your faction and everybody on that faction is only supposed to use those frequencies, so we don't step on everybody else. So be mindful of that. Just stick to the frequencies that I've assigned you, and don't jump to the other one and thinking, oh, nobody's on this one because I don't hear anything. Because
we did try and space it out enough, there isn't going to be too much bleed. Bleed is still going to happen.
Yeah.
But we spaced it out that it's not going to be, we don't have one team on channel 1, another team on channel 2, when you're only separated by 2.5 hertz or whatever that is.
yeah,
we're not doing that.
Yeah, it's somebody else just asked, what if teams be spying? The simple fact is that this is Bad Blood, guys. There's really no intel that's going to be used for spying there. I mean, Marxist is over there. Where? Everywhere. Okay. There really isn't going to be much concealed. You shouldn't be doing that over radios anyway, because you never know who is listening.
Not for nothing. If one guy is on, another team's channel, what's that one guy gonna do? Unless it's the COs, and we're not going to be on each other's channels, really doesn't matter.
And keep in mind, there's also secondary channels. So just because there's no traffic on there doesn't mean that it's not, pre-populated or, in use.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep, absolutely.
So, the next topic, ceasefire. Now, if there's an injury, or any other incident out there, don't use the word ceasefire, and certainly don't broadcast it on the radio on your open faction channel. We reserve that verbiage for really serious events, like if somebody was rendered unconscious, or if there's a fire on the field because somebody used their smoke grenade improperly, and that's happened in the past. But when we announce ceasefire, or when I announce ceasefire on the radio, it's for something serious, and it applies to everybody in the field. So we don't want you to stop the entire game for everybody. So don't say ceasefire. If you have an injury, somebody sprains an ankle, and it's happened, or a heat stroke, call it in. Call blind man in your general area. Get an embed. Get your embed on your radio and tell them what's going on, and the embed will contact me on the staff frequency, and we'll get the EMR emergency staff to come out there with a quad and do first aid, or what needs to get done. But your first thing you need to do if there's an issue on the field around you is just call blind man. Everybody knows what that means. Usually it's only reserved for your goggle getting knocked off, but you can use it for any sort of physical emergency on the field, and people will know to be mindful not to shoot in your general direction, and get your embed on the radio. Anybody else have anything to add about emergencies on the field?
I mean, I think the incident we had last year is a good example of the player who was rendered unconscious. We didn't stop the game. We cordoned off his area, made sure that the radio traffic went out to avoid this area. There's a real world emergency. Game is still on. Keep playing your game that you're here to do, but avoid this area. We'll let you know when it's clear. And that worked. We didn't have any real problems. Didn't have a whole lot of complaints, but the minute somebody starts yelling ceasefire, everything just stops.
Yeah,
And
the whole field.
Trying to get word back on what's really happening, because just people just make up stuff, and we if we have to just block off an area, like last year when we had to block off
And bring an
Tipping
ambulance
Town,
in. Yeah.
the Tipping Town for a while, everyone seemed to be respectful of that, and they just went to parts of the field that didn't require them to cross through there, and it worked. And EMS got in, they treated the gentleman, they got him out, and we said, okay, we're open for business, and it worked. So just pay attention to what people are telling you. Don't just assume you know something that you don't know, because we'll tell you what needs to be done, and continue playing your game until you're told not to.
That brings up what's the next question here? Will the game start at the designated start time? I know Whiskey had trouble trying to get confirmation on that. Yes. We have, in general, I can't say for last year, we usually start on time, unless there is, in one case, I could not get a confirmation from all of the COs, because I want to make sure that there isn't some sort of emergency. So one of the COs couldn't hear me on the radio. But in general, we start the game on time. So yes, that's our plan. But getting back to emergencies, were there any? Let me put this out there. What safety rules do you think that we need to address or strengthen? Were there any safety concerns from last year from any of you guys?
Nobody? Really?
Oh, Joker, I think you're muted.
Oh, is that better? Okay. I was wondering why you started asking the question when I did it. Sorry, I was yelling at the boy. Yeah, I watched the safety thing go down, where the guy fell down and you guys had to pull the people out, and you guys just cordoned off around and everything else. And I think on a whole, there really wasn't many problems that we had. I mean, with the embedded refs everywhere, if anybody had a problem, it was addressed rather quickly. So, I mean, at least you didn't have like a bushfire start like we did.
Yeah. Let's go back 2 years then. Okay, because last year we just had the one big incident. Let's go back 2 years. a player, and I'm going somewhere with this. A player got injured on a rather remote part of the field and literally fell down a ravine.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that.
So in your player packet is a map. I know very few of us are professional map readers, but there is a map in there. Get at least acquainted with how to read the grids and the map, because all we knew was this guy went down on this road and rolled down a ravine. I know the field pretty well. I kind of knew where he was. Um, so we were able to find him and get him out, but he was hurt bad, and it took us a little while to get to him. And there was too many rubberneckers. So if you don't know the guy and you're not trained EMS EMT who has not made yourself known to the EMR staff, go away, get out of the way, let professionals do their job. Um, but yeah, just make sure you have at least a basic understanding of where you are on the field, because God forbid you fall down a hole. You got to get on your radio. We need to be able to hear from you, and we need to find you. So if you said I'm near the big bush, really, really, come on,
Or the tree.
the tree. Oh, I'm by the brown tree.
I'm by the logs. That does not help.
So just give
I-
us an idea. Even if you just have an idea, I was on this road. I was going downhill. I tripped. I fell. I hit my shoulder. Okay, I know what road you're on. You're going downhill, so I know which direction to go. We'll find you. Stay off the radios. Stay out of the way of the quad or the gator that's coming through. Let the professionals do their job. That's it. Because
I will also
we're
say,
gonna
if
800, 1,000 people out there. People are going to get hurt. So get out of the way and let people get the hurt off the field.
I also say that if you are not like an EMS or any sort of medical professional that have been trained or that have been known to EMR, sitting there and making commentary about I wouldn't have done that is not helpful. Just stay back and shut the hell up. Nobody needs to hear your whole. I would have just given him a silver bullet. Nobody gives a shit, bro. This, it's not helpful. It's
You
not
want to be
helpful.
helpful? Walk back and clear the room for the
Yeah,
vehicle.
And here's
I
another thing too. Like you have the map printout. Print it out if you can. If not, put it on your phone or another device, right? And if your cell phone works there, if you don't know where you are, pull up Google Maps. You can do an aerial view, compare that to the map. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's good.
hopefully you're conscious for it.
Hopefully you don't lose your phone on the field.
I never bring my phone out on the field. I learned that
That's a
lesson
good
the
point,
hard
Liam.
way. So a couple other things that came up here. Phantom, we'll get to you in a second because there's some other stuff that was on here. Let's see here. Where was it? Was this there? Oh, there should do some sort of skirmish to game where you capture Moondog and get some sort of prizes. Moondog doesn't play airsoft anymore, guys. Come on.
I've been trying for years to get an AEG in his hands, and never takes me up on it. In the rear with the gear.
No, know what you have to do? You just have to run up and say, "Here, hold this. He's in play, guys."
Well, usually
right.
I'm running around different areas of the field because somebody's got some issue with what a player's doing, which brings up another point. We can move on to hit calling and how to get back to triage. One of the things, of course, when we've been you guys tell me. I think in general this game tends to bring out the better in most folks in terms of their behavior and hit calling. That isn't to say that there are not incidents, especially towards the afternoon when it gets hot, people get tired, that people get lazy about calling themselves out. But for the most part, people are really good. Everybody always comes to me and says they're really happy about how everyone's calling their hits. But when you do call your hit, and I always try to do this at the beginning of the morning briefing, is have everybody show me the red rag. just tuck it in well into your band on your goggles, and keep it visible. And as you walk back, people won't be shooting at you if you've got a big red rag on tucked in around your face, and just find your triage. Now
Look for the
I
pool
know
noodles.
that. Yes, and in general, if you're around all the other players who have waiting in the triage, you're all wearing red rags. Um, hope that should be a good sign that those players shouldn't be shot at by the opposing team. So if you're all out there and this is your first game, and you see a big gaggle of enemy forces, check to see if they're wearing red rags on the top of their head before you think like, oh, this is easy pickings, because that might be the triage for that particular faction. So, yeah, don't.
All right, so another question came in, the one I was mentioned before. Hey, green team is sold out and I only have Ranger green kit. Can I play on black team if I get a black BDU? Pants and shirt? Yes. Gear doesn't matter, except the
Yeah, I
head
mean, in
has
terms
to
of-
match. Yeah. And the helmets and hats have to match the faction color too now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in general, it's for your benefit, because in previous years when somebody is, let's say, on the black shirts like you were saying, and they're wearing a multicam cover, or they have a multicam painted helmet, they complain that they got lit up by their own team. Well, put some black tape or something on your Gucci.
They sell black
multicam
helmet covers.
Yes.
I'm bringing
Or-
spray paint for you guys. So
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Limo.
4 cans of spray paint, 4 different colors. Take your pick.
we don't
Well-
care. Just spray them down right in the field. Yep.
One of the things I try to tell people is, like, I just got off the phone with one of my guys today. I was like, hey, that's why we have 3 different sets of camo. He goes, well, we have multi-cam. I was like, yeah, but we do this one game every year where we're tan. That's Bad Blood. So we have a mandatory green, multi-cam, and tan. Get a 3rd set. I mean, you only need it for one day. You need it for just Saturday, because I don't think Friday is going to be I don't think the Friday night game is going to be separated by faction.
No,
And I don't think the zombie game is going to be separated by faction, because I know when I was tan, I was running around with some black shirts during that game. So, I mean,
you can get a Dickies work shirt and work pants at
Yeah.
Walmart for under $30 for
Yeah.
every faction except for the ASX. Really.
Or with the,
you can wear white for Deus Ex now. So
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Alright.
Yeah, that's right.
another question came through. I also read it says you have to have a patch with your call sign. Do we have to do that?
You can just write your name on a piece of duct tape and put it on, but that's yes. Everyone has to have their name or call sign on their uniform. So-
Phantom, you can literally buy a black, or you can buy a back. Well, you need a black one if you're going to be running on black shirts. So just go to Amazon. They're literally $12, and they fit almost every single one.
What's that baggy helmet cover that the Israeli Defense Forces use? What's the name of that thing?
You mean the mushroom caps?
Yeah, the mushroom. Yeah,
That's
essentially that.
The only thing when I don't know what they're called, but when I see those things, I laugh my ass off because it's more shit for me to shoot. That's it.
So, like I'm saying, it's like you could put anything over your helmet cover. It's still legit milsim, because if the IDF, which kicks ass, wears those, you can wear a black shopping bag on at the top of your head if you need to cover up your helmet cover. That's what I'm saying. All right.
Okay, how dark will it be at on the night game Friday? If you start at dark, it's going to be pitch black. It's called a Mitzenfett. Yeah, I can't pronounce that.
Thank you.
I'm not even gonna try.
See, oh wait, so you could have said something, Nick, but no, I had to look like I have my Florida education. Thanks.
That's what the host is for.
Now the Friday game, it really all depends on when they get started and how long they go. Really,
They generally try
I
to get
think-
started before it gets pitch black.
I think we talked last week. I think they want to try and get started by between 7 and 8. You know, like basically right as Chrono is shutting down. And they're going to go a good few hours, really. So it's going to be low light moving into no light quickly.
Yeah,
And
because
we have the
the tree
castle
line's
for
pretty
that,
high.
right?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yes, castle and surrounding village area, I believe. It's gonna be like
So
a
the castle
silky
itself is going to
theme
be dark when
thing.
you're inside there. So
Oh yeah, it's dark at 2 in the afternoon in there.
Yeah.
I guess one of your relatives is commenting on here. Thomas
It's
Delamundo.
Tomas, yeah.
what?
Saying this is cool.
Your
You know, like-
your
Your
Sprague is
son
having
looks
fun.
like he's watching.
That's Sock One. So that's great. So I'm glad he's tuning in to his dad's live stream. Okay.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have not already done it, smash that like, follow, and share button to share all the information wherever you're watching this. Thank you.
Good point. All right, so iPro. Here's the next question. For those of you, I don't know why people still ask, are shooting glasses allowed? No, they never have in the 20 years I've been playing airsoft. So maybe in your backyard or your local small field, they're very lackadaisical about that. You know, aside from the fact that I make defog spray that Evic sells, there are ways to get around fogging. The best way, of course, is to use Moondog defog along with a fan. But nothing is absolutely 100% perfect.
Selfless plug here. Moondog
Yes.
defog.
In general, mesh masks are definitely helpful because any kind of shamog or face covering is just going to keep. Well, everyone's had to
You're
wear.
talking about lower mesh, right? Not iPro.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see people ask about the mesh goggles pretty often, and I'm like, do not buy those.
Nope.
No, I made the mistake when I first started playing airsoft. I got mesh goggles, and it's fine until you finally get hit in the goggles, and then the BB breaks and sprays your eye with broken pieces, and that was not fun. So, yeah, I know this firsthand. Yeah.
Can I add another one that should be banned? These rect goggles. They actually say rect on the side. It's crap. They're inexpensive.
They're definitely not full seal.
Actually, they do have a gasket. They do.
Okay.
They do. But these ones definitely aren't full seal, and this is the reason why they shouldn't be allowed. They were originally sold. Supposedly they're ANSI rated, but this is the second pair that I seen where the lens gets hit and it pops out. It happened to pop out when I was getting under sustained fire from an LMG, and luckily I was able to get. I was like, I was full on run and everything else. Luckily, everybody was able to swarm, and I didn't get actually hit in the eye.
Okay,
The
so
entire lens has popped. So these, if you have these wrecked glasses, and you'll probably recognize the logo that's right there, guys. If you have these glasses, first off, you're going to want to toss them in the garbage and never use them because they just don't work that well. But we should also say no to these.
Now
You've got plenty of time now to get yourself a quality pair of goggles, low profile, with a fan, something that'll fit an EX fog unit, whatever. If you show up Friday, Saturday, and your stuff doesn't pass, well, guess what? You're going over to one of our vendors and you're buying goggles. That's just it. Because, they let me on with these shooters at what did it? Sorry, Tim.
I hate that argument.
They let me on a Downfall 8 with these. Well, this isn't Downfall, so
it's
no.
our insurance and our liability on the line. No, thank you.
Yeah, and for those of you who like Sonic and Headkill, you guys wear glasses. What are your recommendations for iPro in that case?
I'm a bad example because I actually use ballistic prescription glasses that have a steel that covers the side of my eyes. We use them Liam and I use them for Vietnam airsoft. So I don't know what goggles are like these days. So that's more of a head kill question.
I'm
So
getting
I actually
LASIK.
use there's the Avengers Turbo Fan goggles on Evic's site. They're not well rated, but they actually fit really well over my glasses. Like, it goes completely around it, not touching at all. It does have a fan. It's not great, but combined with the defog, you should be good to go. The fan's takes a AAA battery, and it's not the strongest one, but for comfort over glasses, I found that it's the best for me.
And
I just have somebody.
Oh,
I just
go
have
ahead.
somebody read everything for me, so I don't need my glasses at all. So you'll have RTOs. We have JROs, Joker Reading Officer.
I reviewed one of Evic's new masks, and I'm trying to find it on my. Go to moondogindustries.com. I did a video review of it, and it's a full mask. I think it's made by Tipman, and but you can take it apart if you just don't. Sorry about that. You can take it apart if you don't want to use the lower the lower face shield or the visor on the top. But the goggles themselves are good, and they were big enough that I could wear my glasses. That's my smaller frame glasses underneath them, and it wasn't too. It had enough room that I could wear my glasses underneath them. But the face mask wasn't bad either. It's I think they're basically JT, a repurposed JT goggles, and it was a mesh lower, so you could. Those are great for airsoft. So I know it's a plug for something that I reviewed, but Evic has them on their website, and they work fine. And if you have glasses, they work for that.
You know what? I know that airsoft is as much a fashion show as it is anything else. And I know a lot of guys, they want to show how tough they are, and they don't want to wear anything below their nose. Okay, that's fine. That's your choice. That's fine. But keep in mind, a game like this, stuff's going to be flying at you from every single direction.
Right.
Just protect your face. Like, if you don't want to, that's fine. It's not required unless you're under 18. But consider at least a mesh lower, because dental bills suck.
Those guys are usually the
a,
ones.
A mandatory face protection line in the player packet.
There is.
Yes. You're right. And EMR, Tim at EMR will say on Saturday morning, yes, it's my rule, but you're all adults here, so it is what
Buck.
it is.
Buck's joining.
He's not gonna make us kick anybody off the field who's not wearing a lower. That being said, consider wearing one, because when you've got 999 other people shooting at you from every direction, you're going to get hit in the face. That's just reality. So if you can do anything to mitigate damage, do it.
Oh,
Those guys are typically the ones that complain the most too when they get nailed in a really soft spot and they're not wearing lower mesh. Just saying.
I got a true story to share. The first, one of the few times I organized Bad Blood on the West Coast. The first year I did it, and of course I had the same rules that wear a lower face protection, but the field did not require it. So a lot of the local players didn't. But I said that you should. Within the first 10 minutes, I'm serious here, somebody got their front tooth chipped within the first 10 minutes of the game. So how awful is that? Is that you spent the entire day, went out here, now you've got, aside from the bills, but now you can't play because now you have to leave in the first 10 minutes of the game because you got your tooth chipped. So if you don't want that any risk of that to happen, just wear a mesh mask. It's so easy. Thank you for that link.
The thought
Found
of
it.
losing a tooth like that is pain.
Yes.
Fuck that.
I protect my face and my ears. You get shot
That's
in
a
the
good
ear
one.
once.
Those are the best.
Never.
Those are the
What
best.
are they like? Oh, what are they now? Like $20?
Ear protection is actually in part of the rules as well. Because you got to think that EMR is primarily a paintball park, and those paintball masks are basically big old they cover everything But so technically Ear Pro is required as well.
Yeah, and those Tipman masks.
Anything that is going to help you from not getting yourself all chewed up, just use it. Yeah. So someone thinks your plastic lower looks funny. Okay, well I got my teeth tomorrow, so cool.
If you like the full wrap, head wraps, one Tiger, one on Amazon, $20 a piece. They come with the middle mesh, and the rest of it is completely covered. The only thing I recommend on top of that is a hat. Thing works fantastic. I cannot swear by that enough. Sorry, I'm leaving you from the car. I'm currently at work. I'm waiting for a student pickup, and then I got a jet.
Okay. Well, appreciate you jumping in even briefly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
the
what
one
I'm talking
Tigress-
about is it's basically a nylon ski mask with this little 2-inch by 3-inch steel mesh that goes right over your mouth. It works great. Oh, that works too.
Yeah, it's made by the exact same company. The one that I have, the one that I'm looking.
Oh,
that I-
Evix is cheaper.
That one has that one though. The only downside to it is that it actually blocks off the entire ear, so it muffles the sound a little bit. So
Oh, okay.
Win some battles.
those work.
Now, there's one thing I've been always meaning to try, and I think I've in past events I said that technically you could wear a mesh, either full mesh mask in the front, as long as you're wearing goggles underneath. I haven't seen anybody do that, but
I have.
that,
Yeah, I've seen people like it's this sleeve base. Yeah, I've seen it.
It's the fencing.
A
it's the
fencing
Yeah,
helmet.
that's-
It looks like
yeah.
it looks like a fencing helmet, right? I've seen it, and people say it's better for fogging because then it's a little further away from your face and whatnot. But you still got to wear the goggles under it, which they do. I've never seen somebody without it, but I've seen people out there with the full head covering fencing mask thing. Yeah,
If you guys
now,
goggles for that, or if you guys are looking for extremely thin goggles that'll fit under those, I think it's Pyramex. They make a really good one.
yeah.
They're
That's it.
fantastic. $15, fucking worth it. You'll save your eyes forever. They're fantastic.
Now, okay. Which
Yep.
ones are those, Joker?
Pyramex.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
that's
great.
it. Okay. And you look cool. Just look at Joker.
I almost need it for the light that's in my face tonight. Oh, man, these are dusty as hell. Go show how many times I use them.
Play out of play. I'll confirm this with Timmy, but usually he puts out yellow tape as the boundary lines. Usually he'll pull down all the other boundary lines in the smaller within the field and just put up boundary lines for our event. So I'll confirm that that's the case. But if you see yellow tape, that's for this game, then that means that that is the boundary for what's in play and what isn't. Of course, avoid Timmy's house, but that's also going to be out of bounds behind lots of yellow tape.
You shoot Timmy's house, you never come back.
Yes.
Yes, no, that's very true.
Forget about it. We saw that 2018. Someone did that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
because he was railing about it 2019.
Oh yeah. Rightfully so, though. That was absolutely valid. Anybody who tried to shoot through my windows, that would have been.
Especially,
I don't think we've changed the map layout from last year. So that I guess old Tipman Town that's by Timmy's house, that's still out of play.
mm-hmm.
The old castle, I forget what you call it.
Castle War.
Yeah,
That's in play.
It's in play, but I kind of steered people away from it last year because I scouted it out, and it was severely overgrown and had lots of gopher holes. Somebody was gonna break an ankle in there, so I kind of unofficially took it out. If Timmy's done any work to it and he's mowed it down and located the holes or whatnot, then yeah, that'll definitely be part of in play. Only problem is it's pretty close to his house, so that's one thing to keep in mind.
Friday before the game.
What's that?
if you want to, I'll help you scout out Friday night before the game if you want.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. I tend to walk the field a couple times, just get acquainted with anything that's new, and if there's a, he puts new stuff up every once in a while, and what's just completely gnarly and chewed up. So
And that's brings up a good point. That's the reason why it's not a requirement, but I always strongly encourage everybody to wear high combat or hiking boots, at least over ankle high, because of what Ian just said. Gopher holes, and that is a very varied terrain on that field. So you can easily roll an ankle if you're just wearing low tops or sneakers or what have you. That's the reason why you want ankle support.
If
Yeah,
you're gonna
If you can, yeah, please don't wear sneakers.
yeah,
Proper
the
boots.
center and the west side of the map is all relatively flat, but the east side is hilly, it's jungly, it's a mess down there. So
please be careful in the valley. I really don't want to help carry someone out this year.
we talked
you
about
missed
that
it.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not have a repeat of that.
So, all right, which another getting to the other most common injury, heat. So it gets, and we have no control over that. We were very lucky last year; it was very mild, relatively. But you know how summers get, and it's already been hot out your way, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know how hot it's going to be.
Yeah, in the 90s the past 2 days here. Yeah, I was out in it.
95 where I'm sitting.
So bring plenty of hydration. Bring a Camelback, or bring 2 canteens, or whatever you need to do. There is potable water back at the office at their store for the field, and of course you could always get more power drinks there. But generally, water's your best bet. You don't necessarily need to be chugging Gatorade or Powerade or
G Fuel.
I have another
Water
advice.
sucks. Gatorade.
Monster and Bang is not hydration.
It's the opposite of hydration.
Please don't bang a 40 mic before you get on the field.
This Floridian here, what I always do before going out and playing is I mix a 50-50 mix of water and Powerade. So then that way I get the hydration and replace the electrolytes. But of course, I'm always playing, like right now, anytime I play, I'm in 95 degrees plus in an indoor field. So
I know Camelbacks and whatnot are kind of the norm these days. For any of you old school guys who carry canteens, Pedialyte, little Pedialyte packets.
Mm-hmm.
Drop it in a canteen, hydrate, shake it up, you're good.
And hydrate days before, not just the day before. Hydrate a few days before. Start chugging that water. Make sure you're nice and bloated, because you'll lose that water weight pretty quick out there. If it's anything like past Bad Bloods, I mean, I'm not going to overheat because that's my running weather. I'm looking around here, and I think I'm the only. Me and my little Florida crew will be fine. Everybody else might be. This sucks.
Oh yeah.
If you're not peeing on the field at least once, then you're not drinking enough water.
No, that's very true.
It's very true.
Make sure you're in a corner so you don't take a beat in your.
Well, yeah, definitely the weekend before. Start hitting the water hard. At least the weekend before.
So speaking of which, a little tangent here. For those of you who've never been to the field, there are plenty of porta-johns there. So, and they're right by the chrono station. So, just in case you're wondering, you can get off the field and come back to the office is roughly center of our overall play area. The overall play area is kind of like L-shaped, and the main office where there's the store and where the HQ for the staff is roughly in the center to every part of the field. So if you have to come back, it's you're going to be out of the game for 15 minutes, but we've got 5 hours a game, so come back.
I encourage you bring your own toilet paper.
and
Dogs.
and the real funny thing about that too, like we all laugh, we all chuckle, we all have a great time. But the porta potties that are over by the campsites, usually, I was just pulling that up, Ian. Usually, and I mean usually, get overloaded Friday night. So
You don't understand how much airsofters shit. Especially when
well,
it's cooking that fucking chicken. And you know, you know.
so registration's down here. So the porta potties are all going to be over here. Is what you're talking about, right, Bulldog? Moondog?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're all right in that area, right in the small parking lot.
Yeah. So the porta potties that are usually right here and right here, get to them early, and then after that, they're about done.
Now, for those of you who, again, for first timers, there is a small parking lot near the store. That's for drop offs only. The main parking lot for all of the attendees is further up to the right of where the bunkhouses are. The open area to the north of the bunkhouses, actually, those are all the campsites. And they also have overflow parking directly south of where you've got the arrow there, the cursor there. That's where they have the overflow parking. It's a bit of a hike down that road to get to the barracks, but the bunkhouses. But that is where there is extra parking, and the staff over at EMR will direct you.
Yeah, and it's with 800 to 1,000 people being there. If you guys are at hotels, carpool. If you guys are in the area, carpool. Ride with people to get to the site and all that. I'm sure that Timmy would appreciate it, but knowing just me trying to drive on site, it's last year we had like 750 people at Bad Blood, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
759.
Oh, look at that. I guessed, and I was right. Plus or minus 10, that's great. With that many people, even when I was getting in early, it felt like I was late because of the people that were backed up and everything else. So, yeah.
There's a little bit of a dirt road to get in. I mean, it's all dirt road, basically, once you get off of the highway. So just be mindful of which vehicle you're picking to get to the field. And
low suspension's in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't take the left road. Go down the right road and then drive into the campsites. I learned that the hard way.
Well, you got to be careful with that because that's where everybody's going to be massing. That's where the vendors are. That'll be blocked off relatively quickly to anyone but staff. So you're not gonna have a choice but to go through the bunkhouses.
Yeah, the left road's rough, so if you have a lower vehicle, definitely be careful.
Yeah, depending on the rain, that could be earlier in the year or even earlier that week. There could be some serious potholes. So just FYI.
And the other thing, also, guys, like be very aware. Tim does not like it when people speed on his roads.
His kid, please be careful, guys.
Just, it seems like we're doing like a whole lot of, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that. Why don't we talk about a lot of cool, positive stuff? I think we're all going to go out there and have a great time. It's looking like that this is going to be a sold-out event, so it's, I think, the first time since 2019 it's going to be sold out. Or we'll have back out to over 1,000 people on the field because is it 200 or 250 per side? 250, right?
250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget the tribals.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like you have over 1,000 people that are going to be out there playing on the field, interacting, running around, doing stuff. Make sure you guys read the player packet. Make sure you listen to safety brief so that way people understand. No, it's 10 feet, not 15 feet. Where's my pool noodle? Well, maybe you should have paid attention to where it was to begin with.
It's good. Just keep your head on a swivel, look around, and it's probably moved since the last time you were there. So, and there's going to be some great things that are going to be on the field. We're going to have more. We're going to have two food vendors there, so you don't definitely bring your food bring food with you to the event, or if you're for your campsite. But there's going to be at least two food trucks there.
It says a max of 200 per faction.
Yeah, it's max 200, but then we're gonna have the however many tribals, so it's going to be full. Trust me. You're not going to see no difference between 800 and 1,000. It's
Now I will confirm with Evic. I think the 200 was a holdover when we weren't sure what the health department was going to allow us from last year. I think we kept that in there just because we didn't know what the situation was from the COVID. But
honestly,
anyway, well, we're
I'll have brisket there. I'll have brisket there as well.
Are you gonna feed everybody?
I'm not feeding everybody. But I am certainly going to have a brisket there. I'm going to be doing the same thing. We're going to try to raise some money to help my son's gene therapy medication, which he's doing fantastic on. Actually, sorry, I always have to shut that door before I say anything. June 4th, Make-A-Wishes come through, and he's getting his action track chair. So he'll be the mini tank coming to an event soon. But yeah, it's actually a thing. It's actually coming. He'll have it June 4th. So we're super excited about it.
Awesome.
Nice.
He still doesn't know about it. He doesn't even know that it's coming yet. He thinks it fell through again because we keep talking about supply chain issues and everything else.
Because it could very well be. And no spoilers out there. Everybody watching this, no spoilers.
Luckily he doesn't watch these streams because he finds them boring. He would much rather watch like what is it, Roblox crap or whatever. So I'm safe there. But yeah, we're having a big event on June 4th for him. News will be out, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, we will definitely be raffling off an airsoft gun, and we'll also be selling plates of the delicious brisket. For those of you that know, you know. For those that don't, you should know.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Joker makes amazing brisket.
You want my meat in your mouth. That's all I got to say.
Seriously, folks, he is bringing out a smoker to the field. So this is legit.
Never been so happy to be a vegetarian after hearing that comment.
You know what? It's funny, and it's really even funnier when my 16-year-old daughter says that. You want my dad's meat in your mouth? It's like, oh, jeez, kid.
Demonetized.
This has already been demonetized because of my background wall. Okay. Let's check and see, shall we?
What happened with Limo's feed?
Oh boy.
He's deep in the bush. He'll be back.
Okay. All right.
Phone's running out of batteries.
Okay. That explains things. All right. I wanted to make sure I got everything. Sonic, did we cover everything that some of the things that we already covered?
The only thing I wanted to cover really was 14, 15, 16, but we can leave that to next time. We talk about how I marked it as chain of command, but really like for the people who are kind of, let's call them rank and file, who they need to listen to. And, it's the people who are out there, screw it. Let's talk about it.
Chain of command, basically. Let's table that for the next one. Because I think it would be good to have all of the COs, try to arrange it to have all of them there, because that also goes back to I forget who asked that question, is, how are they going to be structured? I'll have you guys, Limo, Carbon, talk about how you plan to do it. We'll set up we'll carve out some time for each of you to just give an overview of how you're planning on or how you're doing things on your
that could be a pretty good conversation on how everybody wants to, get organize their troops, because especially you bring in somebody like Dom, who's like, hey, all of you go there, and they do, and it works.
All of
So
us.
like, let's let everybody talk about how they want to do that. So good idea.
Yeah, because I definitely want to have Virtue on to chime in on that.
I'll laugh if as soon as we go to like to he gets on and then we're gonna so it's gonna be great. But he was having a good time at MegaCon selling his artsy fartsy stuff. So
Some nice art.
oh, it's delicious. Oh, it's great. It's delicious.
So
I don't know
want to get
I don't know why that word came out.
Moondog, real quick,
yes.
how many collectors were we doing? 8 or 10?
10.
10.
Unless you guys want to cut it to 8. I mean, we're still at a stage that we can, there.
Well,
there's
if we're gonna sell, we used to do the 1, if you remember. We used 1 per faction. Then we started to increase it as the numbers increased. And then we cut it back because the COVID numbers were down. If we do truly sell out the way I expect this to, I think we should honestly keep it at 10. There's, it doesn't hurt me to count 10 as opposed to count 4. I don't care. So, let's just it helps more people be involved and feel like they're contributing. They're not just bullet stoppers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I say we keep it 10.
Oh, I heard a little echo there. Yeah.
That was Liam's came back.
Liam.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, let's keep it at 10 unless the numbers don't pick up.
Okay.
Liam, wave when you want to talk. Is
Okay. I will. You know what? I will double check with George again. I've already talked to him about getting patches there. They had issues getting them to the field on time, but supply chain. But I will confirm that they'll have them on hand and send them ahead of time.
Look at all those.
But thanks for a reminder there. I'll put that.
The EVIC royalty will be on site, so I'm gonna ask that everyone kind of limit your meet and greet selfies to after the game, because that just slows everything down. Let's get everybody on the field right after briefing, and we can actually get this thing started on time. Because the more people who are smoozing around, they want to get a photo with Matt and whoever else comes from EVIC. You're delaying everybody else. So let's save the selfies to after the game or on the field. Honestly, what's going to be a better backdrop than an entire horde of Marxists, over your shoulder as you're taking a selfie? That'll be wonderful. I want to see it. I'll pay for it. But so let's get everybody on the field on time and limit the celebrity photos to later.
And I'm take a picture with me too.
Yeah. All right.
I actually got identified at MegaCon and somebody had to take a picture, and I was because I was actually joking around saying I'm at MegaCon. What is your cosplay? I was like, I'm cosplaying like that Joker a-hole on Players Wanted. And somebody goes, but that's you. And I was like, and I turned around and the guy goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, can I get a picture? I was like, sure, kid.
That's awesome.
It's happened. I mean, I'm getting the notoriety. I was also live streaming there, so it's oh god, the fun we have. So, are we gonna be doing it from here on out weekly?
Depends on your guys' schedule.
I'm down. I'm not pulling any more. Should be okay.
Not sure about next weekend because that's
Well,
Memorial Day weekend. But,
that's right. You know what? Let's start doing it after June. Start of June.
June 5th will be the next one then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. And for that one, which we're at our past our hour mark here. I wanted to. I got to bring up the promo that we're doing, but before then, I wanted, since it's timely, I wanted to ask you guys a question. What are your thoughts on the new M5? Now, if those of you who don't know, the U.S. Army has chosen a new rifle to replace the M16, which they haven't done in 50 years. It's and they've made it official that they're going to switch over to a whole new rifle, and more importantly, a whole
Isn't it
new
technically
ammo.
the XM5 for
Yes.
now?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, they said that it's transitioning. It's going to be the M5, right? Because it's no longer they're no longer in trials or experimental. They said that that's what they picked. Well,
I'd love to say it, honestly. I can't.
I just want to try the round. You and I, Moondog, we might be able to at SHOT Show next year. But I mean,
You talk about the
pretty
polymer round?
Well,
No,
that's
this is
a 6.8 caliber, or 6.8
yeah,
millimeter.
it's a brass and steel. This is the SIG won the contract. So this one's it's a bimetal round with steel and
Looks like they're still calling it the XM5 and the XM250, but yeah.
I thought that they were trying to go to those. They were trying to go to a polymer shell.
That was one of the that was in the competition. Who was making that one? Was that General Dynamics?
I don't know, but I know a couple people that told me that they were playing around with those. They're testing and they're part of the testing group inside the military with that, and they said the amount of weight that was dropped was phenomenal. If the technology works, it'll be revolutionary.
Well, that's one of the big issues with the new round and also the new rifle is it's 2-3 pounds heavier, maybe more than an M16. So
seems that way.
I mean, that'll help with the recoil, but I certainly wouldn't want to be humping that thing over
I think it's meant to be a
hills.
more long-range cartridge because apparently they spec the chambers on the XM5 to hold incredible pressures.
Yeah, 80,000 psi.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I think what is it? The M16s are around 50s, mid 50s.
So 55 grain M193 is about 55,000 psi.
Yeah, so this is a huge jump in pressure because they want that extra range as you mentioned, because militaries always fight the last war. So this is all about getting the range because they were getting outranged in Afghanistan by the Taliban, who are typically they've got gravity working for them, and they're shooting SVDs or what have you. So the M4s they had a shorter barrel for one thing. They just didn't have the range to engage.
And by the way, guys, just like that, demonetized. The video has now been demonetized. Awesome.
Really, because of the discussion about the M5?
It's fine. It's totally fine. If I did this for monetization, I would, I'd be concerned, but I'm really not. But yeah, it just flipped over. I was watching, and I kept hitting refresh to wait and see it happen, and then it did. I was like, "Yay!" Oh, that's great. The only thing I'm saying, it's like I haven't played with the rifle, haven't used it or anything else, so I really don't have an opinion on it. The only thing I've been waiting to do is to talk to people about, everybody's saying that we might enter into World War III. Does anybody else think Russian missiles are just not going to fire because of lack of maintenance?
Or they're gonna. Did you see what happened? Over the weekend or Friday, where they RT was doing a live stream of their new mechanized mortar. Ukraine was watching the feed and blew it up.
They're using unsecure.
Oh my gosh! No, I didn't see that.
Oh God, this has like been a complete lesson for every. I can tell you right now, every other military is sitting here like this, saying, "Okay, this is what we don't do. This is what we don't do. This is what we don't do." Because you probably have you probably have recruits in every army. So why don't we do that? Let's play this tape from the Ukraine war, shall we? Why don't we use cell towers? This is why.
Why can't we just use our cell phone? Why can't we just use Google Maps in a war?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it was bad. They had some journalist that showing the glorious new mechanized mortar system, and they fire off a round, and then the feed cuts, and you see Ukrainian drone showing the smoldering wreckage of the mortar.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, it's great. Nothing like watching a superpower disintegrate on live TV. Ah, anyways, I think
Anyways,
we've.
we're just,
Wanna wrap
I
it
think
up,
we'll just
Moondog?
wrap it up here. So for those of you who've stuck on this just to win the weapon line, I just want to give you the details of that. So Olight is going to be giving away a Balder Pro R, and this thing is crazy bright at 1350 lumens. Now, I've tested this. It is actually a little bit brighter than that, and it says so in the actual manual, the user manual. It's only that bright for about, I'd say about a minute, maybe a little less, and then the internal cutoff switches to keep it from the LED from burning out. Bring it back to about 700-800 lumens, but still, that's still plenty bright. But just be aware that it's not going to be 1350 for the full hour or hour and a half of battery life. But the thing is pretty dang bright, and it's got a built-in laser. I've seen I've tried it out, and I've got it on my personal weapon for long-term testing. But Olight is going to be giving away one of these to a winner. Now, this is going to be a little bit of contest of skill. You've got to figure out for yourself how to navigate to Moondog R&D, which some of you might actually be watching this on, and hit the subscribe button on there, and then take a screenshot and email it to me. And there's a couple of other ways to enter, if you send me a screenshot of that, you get one entry. If you send me a screenshot of Joker's Players Wanted page, that's good enough for another entry. So I've got a complete list of all the ways that you can enter. Take a screenshot of all of those places, email it to olight@moondogindustries.com, and each of those is good enough for an entry. And Olight I'm going to randomize this. And Olight will be picking a winner at our next live stream, and I'll announce who won. So look at if Joker, if you could bring up that link to my blog page. Do you have that?
Yes. 1 second.
Okay. So go to the blog page. It has complete rules and eligibility requirements. The standard stuff. Void where prohibited. I don't know where you're watching this from. You have to be in the U.S. or Canada to win, but you don't have to make no purchase
Canada.
necessary. You don't have to buy tickets to Bad Blood to be eligible to win. But go to moondogindustries.com. It's right. There should be a link right on the homepage to the contest, and there's a complete list of all the possible ways you could send a screenshot to enter. And we'll be announcing it in 2 weeks who won this weapon light, and Olight will be sending it to you directly. So you have to even wait for me. So anyway, I want to thank.
Do one better.
What?
Bam.
There we go to the
that's the direct link.
OPB 22 Olight giveaway. So go to that link. Go to their website. You'll see all the details of how you can enter and who's eligible and who's not eligible to enter. So unfortunately, none of the guys who are on this live feed. Sorry, COs. Sorry, Lima and Carbon. You're sorry, Headkill. You're not eligible.
I just work here.
Still eligible.
But whoever wins,
for me.
I want to know what you think of it. Honestly, I want to honestly get your opinion on this. I'm gonna not
It's
only do
okay.
you win
I
that,
have my
but
own.
I'm gonna have you on a Zoom call later on, and we're gonna have you as a special guest to talk about what you won. But anyway,
Is
I want to
Olight
thank.
willing to submit one for the raffle?
Oh, and okay, good point. They're submitting 2 for the raffle. So I will also be
nice.
giving away 2 Olights, two of these at the raffle. And there will actually be another giveaway in about that I'll announce in 2 weeks. So I'm going to be doing 2 online giveaways that you don't have to be at the event to win. We'll be doing all this during the live feed. So this first one, they're going to pick it next week. So go to my website and enter.
Since we're talking about live raffles and everything else, on June 14th, I will be doing a 12-hour-long live stream to
Oh yeah,
raise more money for Damien's gene therapy. So for those of you who don't know, my son has muscular dystrophy. That's why it's like really important. He's getting all this stuff. That gene therapy medication has been absolutely fantastic for him. Not only has he increased movement and muscle growth, but he also has increased cognitive skill. So 2 weeks after he started taking the medications, his grades started to improve. Now he's ending the year on the honor roll, which he hasn't done that ever. I don't think any of my kids have been on the honor roll, to be honest with you. So it's truly fantastic what this medication is. It's just really freaking expensive. $24,000 a year is the out-of-pocket cost for all that. So we're going to be doing it in a live stream on June 14th. We'll be raffling off games, some other stuff that we have. Probably a gun or two because we want to hit that magic number so we can pay it for the year.
And I've got a prize for you. I've got a prize for you to give away. It's
Always
a karaoke
delicious.
speaker. It's a karaoke speaker.
Karaoke speaker? That's
Yes.
awesome. I can only imagine him riding around on that thing in a karaoke, like with a speaker going on in the background. He starts playing like Flight of the Valkyries and all that. Because Greg from Dead End Outfitters is actually going to be building a helmet tracking system. So wherever he looks, the gun targets, and he just has to pull the trigger. And he's going to be encased in Lexan. So Buck waved he had to go. So, but I'm going to be doing a 12-hour. Instead of a 24 was always rough. We always lost people around 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. A few people stayed up with me like Smurf on the 24-hour streams. And it was just like, not to say it was a waste of time, but there was no reason to be on. Remember, guys, I'm the Wish version of Jerry Lewis, okay? Not even Asian.
Dude, we're dating ourselves because I don't know if this generation now even knows who Jerry was.
Jerry Lewis was a great comedian actor, and he
Mhm.
also he was the spokesperson for Muscular Dystrophy Association, the MDA fundraisers for people that remember those telethons. I know how he feels because he was most people don't know, but he was actually up for 36 hours for some of those.
Oh,
And-
yeah. He was
yeah,
a
when-
He's the
trooper.
man. Yeah.
Even up until like I think the last one he did, he was still up for 20 straight hours doing that. So it was, and sorry he's gone, but there has been nobody else that has stepped up on the celebrity level to actually do the MDA telethons like they did before. I mean, when was the last time you ever heard of a telethon? You know?
Oh, yeah, true.
But because I think when that one went away, and that was the last time that you ever heard of a telethon going on. So there's so much cool stuff that's coming out for gene therapy, not only for MDA or for muscular dystrophy, but for other medications as well. So this is a big deal. They figured out how to almost completely replace the gene. They just had another trial medication go through that was 80% muscle growth, and it was 100%
Wow.
muscle growth in a 4-month-old for a different type of muscular dystrophy. And I know it's all technical and probably boring people, but the cool thing about it is that that process to get the exon 2 deletion can be done now. That process can be done for other things like MS. They're even thinking it might help with Alzheimer's. So there's all sorts of cool stuff coming out with these gene therapies, why it's like such a big deal. And the only reason why that muscular dystrophy got it was because of all the stuff that Jerry Lewis did. So his
Yeah.
legacy still lives on. So, well, guys, I mean, we went way over time, but I guess the next one we're going to do is on June 5th.
Hmm.
Is the next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Sounds
Is that right?
So so everybody
Boss.
tune in.
I need confirmation, boss.
Yes, yes. That
right,
is
well,
the
Jay, we'll
correct
talk
date.
later. All right. Well, with that being said, I like to thank everybody for coming on. I'm Joker from Players Wanted. Up there's wait, all the way up there. Sorry, pointing the wrong way. Moondog from Moondog Industries. You got Ian, Headkill, Carbon, Liam, and Buck. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like we always say when we go to end the stream, may your BBs fly true and your opponents always.